Retro Ghetto.
Okay, some very rare games there. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. So, first things first, what is a PlayStation 3 Essential? The Essential effectively replaced what was implemented by Sony back in 1997, the Platinum range. The first 2 years of PlayStation 3's life cycle, they were actually Platinum, and then in 2010 it was renamed the Essentials for PSP, PS3 and the Vita. During the initial Platinum run, games had to sell 500,000 units within the first 6 months to qualify. That was later dropped to 400,000, and those figures are territory dependent, so not necessarily worldwide figures. So in order to get a PAL Platinum release, you'd have to sell those numbers within the PAL territories, and the same for the rest of the world. There isn't anything definitive online to suggest exactly what the criteria is for an Essentials release, but predominantly it was made up of games that sold well. The key word being predominantly because, as you'll see later on, there are some very obscure games that actually made it to PlayStation 3 Essentials releases somehow. I don't know why. Released at a budget price, these were often sold between £20 and £30, and now that we know what these red-spined beauties are, let's talk about collecting for them. So I uploaded this video approximately 5 months ago, and in it I explained exactly why I decided to collect for them. Largely 3 reasons. Number 1, they look great displayed on the games room shelf. I absolutely love the red glow that they emit, and yeah, I'm very big on curating my games room that I've dubbed the 3.0, and for me the aesthetic of the room is paramount, and I absolutely love the way that these things display on the shelf. Number 2, I actually missed out on a lot of that era of gaming as and when these games initially came out, so for me to have a full set of PlayStation 3 Essentials would almost be like having a comprehensive PlayStation 3 library. Some of the best games on the system, and yeah, just readily available for me to try out and have those gaming experiences quite often for the first time. And thirdly, because I believe that these would be widely available and predominantly cheap titles, I thought I'd be able to walk into my local CEX stores and pick up games off the shelves that I needed for my collection and leave with that collector's high. Something I'd been missing in recent weeks and months, with me primarily focusing on my full Super Nintendo set. Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. It was getting fewer and further between that I was actually finding games that I needed for my collection. So the idea was that by collecting for these games that nobody really wants, they're shunned as the last of the PlayStation 3 games that people really want to be adding to their shelves, right? Similar to sort of the Platinum Rangers. People don't like it when they stand out, or these budget titles as a rule amongst collectors. So yeah, that was very much the plan. I was going to walk into these stores, pick these games up for a cheap price, and build a collection easily and affordably. Yeah, that didn't last long. Since I released that video, a lot of you guys have also joined in the hunt for PS3 Essentials, and these once disrespected, disregarded games are now sought after and a very valuable commodity. There's actually talk of CEX potentially listing these as separate listings to the standard copy of the game, and yeah, that's going to make them even harder to find going forwards, but there's definitely an emptiness on the PS3 sections across CEX stores now, where there was once PlayStation 3 Essentials littered throughout. Yeah, it's definitely getting harder and harder to find these in the wild, so to speak. So now is a good time for me to address something that I get asked a lot in the comment sections of my videos, and something I've loosely touched upon in a recent vlog, and that is, do I regret making the hunt for these public? And people often say to me, do you wish you got the full set or more of these games before you sort of put it in the public domain? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Categorically no. I think it's absolutely fantastic that a lot of you guys are on the same Essentials journey as I am. If I inspired you to go out and go on the hunt, well, that's what this channel's all about. I love that we're sort of all in it together. There's a big community of Essentials collectors. There's a lot of us in the Ghetto Gang Discord, and a lot of you guys that have reached out to me to show me your collections and show me what you're finding up and down the country, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. I'm not desperate for video games, right? I'm sitting in a room full, probably more games than one man can ever play in his entire lifetime, but for me, it's all about enjoying the journey, that collecting passion, and if there's other people out there that can share the passion and their experiences and go on the same journey that I'm on, then fantastic. It's great to see and discuss this with people that are hunting with a common cause, but I did, however, want to make this video today because, yeah, this is not that easy journey that I thought this would be. This is nowhere near as affordable as I thought it would be, and my initial plans to just sort of find them in person, and that romanticism of doing it all myself out in the wild, that's out the window. There's a a lot of games, including these very rare ones here that I'm going to open on this video that are very, very difficult to find. And whilst of course the more people that are hunting these, it does make it somewhat harder to find them, that's somewhat irrelevant in the grand scheme of things and as to why some of these games are so difficult to find. The first thing to discuss when it comes to collecting for PS3 Essentials is forget everything you know about collecting video games. Firstly, the price is irrelevant. To my knowledge, the most expensive PS3 Essential currently is the God of War Volume 2 collection. And that's simply because the God of War Volume 2 collection is expensive, whether that be the standard copy or the Essentials copy, largely because it's the only way on disc that you can play the PSP games on a HD system. But yeah, it's not an uncommon game. I've seen that game out there many a time, and if you're hunting for Essentials, you'll be able to find that one with no problem. That's not the issue. The issue is the games that you cannot find. The games which seemingly do not exist and, to my knowledge, may have never even been in this country. The biggest challenge is how to source some of the random and more obscure titles. Many of these were only released in certain European countries, and a couple, of course, in Australia, as they, of course, are PAL. So, I mean, you're literally trying to source games from the other side of the world. And to confirm my point about pricing, I wanted to highlight a couple of games out of my own collection. Firstly, Pro Evolution Soccer 2015, but also Heavenly Sword. I found these both in person at CEX stores for £1.50 and £3.50 respectively. At the time, I thought nothing of it. I thought it was just another couple of games for the collection. However, having spoke to many other UK-based Essentials collectors, I don't know anybody else that's managed to find them, and that's kind of where the marketplace is right now. People are only just kind of discovering which of these titles are rare. It hasn't really been something that historically people have hunted, and therefore it's kind of gone under the radar that many of these titles are very, very scarce in the Essentials format. I do envisage that changing. I think going forwards there may even become an Essentials tax where they're actually paying more for these than the standard copy of the game. And if CEX do in fact change their listings, then yeah, it's just going to make the whole market much more difficult to attain. But hey, I guess that's still part of the journey, right? It is undoubtedly getting harder, as I say, to find them in person, and I have had to resort to Evil Bay now. I've currently got about 15 that I'm awaiting shipment, and I'll obviously be showing you guys those as they arrive on future vlogs. I did want to, however, see if I can still find PS3 Essentials out in the wild. It's getting more difficult, of course, as the collection grows. I'm sort of in and around halfway now. We'll get to that later on. But yeah, I headed down to a local CEX to see if I can still find Essentials that I need on the shelves. Well, that was a success. I did manage to find two Essentials that I needed. So I managed to pick up Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Most Wanted. As you will have seen, one of the beauties of doing it this way is that if they don't have a manual, you can just take a manual from one of the other games that's on the shelf, should they have the standard version. So yeah, I was able to get these complete. Really happy with that. I do believe that I've heard somewhere that the manual should come in like a black and white format. I think with these being a budget release, the manual is often not as colourful, or should I say expensive, as the standard copy, but I'm not that level of a completionist. If this has the Essentials disc, I'm not too fussed if I've got the colour manual or the black and white one. Like, I'm more than happy with the complete copies of the game. And yeah, I guess this is proof that you can still find PS3 Essentials out in the wild. Okay, so I guess it's time to address the shocking and rather provocative title of this video. And yes, I do genuinely believe that I could be the first person in the world to achieve a full set of PlayStation 3 Essentials. That's not a sentence I make lightly, and I'm certainly not underestimating the level of collectors or collections that are out there. I know that there are some fantastic collections out there that probably never see the light of day, and the owners of them have probably got more sense than to put them on YouTube. But here are the following reasons as to why I think I could genuinely be the first person to achieve this goal. Firstly, you can pretty much eradicate Asia and North Americans from this because this is a PAL territory collection. These are PAL games, and North America have their own budget range, and my boy Steve, aka Mr. Rightway, I know that he's on the hunt for his full set. Go and check out his channel, there'll be a link below. So yeah, you would assume it would only be people within the European territories that are hunting for these titles in this magnitude. Also, after a lot, and I mean a lot of research, I cannot find a definitive list of PlayStation 3 Essentials out there. There is, in fact, a collector, not based in the UK, somewhere in Europe, I believe Germany, maybe the Netherlands, who claimed to have a full PlayStation 3 Essentials set, and maybe at that time he did. But with a little bit of research, it does seem that it does have a few titles missing, and that's part of the issue with collecting for these. I've got a whole squad of people that are helping me. I'm in a very fortunate position. Having a YouTube channel, I've been able to connect with people the world over, and the Ghetto gang actually now reaches pretty much throughout the entire world. I'm very thankful for that, and that has helped me massively. Not only do I have a lot of UK-based collectors that are helping me, in particular Kingsley, who's also on this journey with me. He's done a lot of research himself to figure out exactly which games were and were not released on the Essentials list. I also have a friend over in Switzerland, and a massive shout out to Misha, Ghetto gang member who's based in the Netherlands, who has been a huge help in helping me to create this list and find some of those more obscure games, which, yeah, there's going to be a big parcel coming in from Europe on a vlog coming very soon, full of rare games which until recently I didn't even know existed. So my point being, if you didn't have this reach that I've got, this would seem like an almost impossible task. I believe that roughly half, if not maybe slightly less than half of these games were never released in the UK, and they were actually based in Europe. And I don't think there's many people that are on this journey based here are aware of just how many there are that are actually European exclusives. And yeah, it's one of those things that even just recently we found about 4 more games, I think yesterday, that we didn't know ever had Essentials releases. And as I said to you at the start of this video, the Platinum range was sort of like top sellers that had to sell 500,000 or 400,000 to qualify. That definitely does not seem to be the case with the Essentials range, because some of these releases are obscure to say the least. So not only is there not a definitive list out there, not only is it seemingly impossible without the help of people in other countries, but also they don't believe there was ever really the desire to do this. Except for that one example that I've aforementioned, I don't know of anybody that was collecting for PS3 Essentials prior to me putting that video out approximately 5 months ago. And if anybody's managed to achieve a full set in 5 months, well, credit to you. In all seriousness, whether I end up being the first person in the world to do this, the first person in Britain, or the 499th person is somewhat irrelevant. It's a journey that I'm really enjoying, and it's not just about me getting this full set. It's also something that I want to do for the community. I want to have a definitive list that I can share with everybody. Myself and Kingsley are working very hard on putting a comprehensive, once and for all list together as to exactly which Essentials not only exist, but in what countries they were released in, the rarity, and yeah, hopefully that will be able to help everybody going forward should you wish to go on the same journey. Also, if there is anybody out there that does think they've got the full set, let me know and send me the list, because it's going to save me a lot of time and effort. And yeah, seriously though, massive shout out to everybody that's helped me, because I wouldn't be able to do this without you. Genuinely, I don't think I could do this on my own. Okay, so with all that being said, it's time to open up these couple of parcels here and see if I am any closer to achieving that full set target myself. Both of these games are very rare to my knowledge. It seems at the moment I'm finding new rarer games every single day, but this one is rare. I don't even 100% know if it exists. And the one underneath it, I think, is the rarest, certainly the rarest that I've got thus far. So we'll start with the second most rare, of course, in typical YouTube fashion. I'll hide my address. Right. Okay. The PS3 Essentials journey has been one filled with ups and downs. Now, I've not fully opened this yet. It's still in the bubble wrap, but can you spot a problem? This is not a PS3 Essential. Now, I'm not going to lie, there was a little bit of me that was worried that this would happen because I bought this on eBay from a European seller, and I will put the name of the seller at the bottom so you know to avoid this person, not as a seller, but if you're going for Essentials, because this person has like Essentials in bracket on a lot of their listings, even though the picture's a standard copy. It was worth the risk because this was very cheap, and PES 2014 is one of them games that, yeah, it's a bit of a unicorn. I don't really know if it exists. I can't find it. Like I say, I'm lucky to be able to have PES 2015 sat on a shelf in CEX, but yeah, this clearly isn't an Essential, so yeah, this will have to go back. I'm not sure why they list their games with Essentials in brackets, but as I say, the name of the seller will be below, so just be aware of that. That is a shame, because I was hoping I could definitively say this is one of the range, but hey ho, let's hope now, right? This is going to be very anticlimactic if this one isn't what I hope it is, because it should be, because this had the legitimate photo and everything. And like I said, this is, to my knowledge, the only copy I could find. There was none others online. I didn't find much on Google. There was none sold. It wasn't particularly expensive, which comes back to my previous point. This cost me, I think, 15 euros posted. And this is one of them games which, over time, I think will become very expensive because it seemingly doesn't exist. And there are many, many others in the set, believe me. But yeah, let's hope for better results for this one. It's red.
We happy? Vincent? We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Okay. It's red, it's complete. I'm very, very happy. And that is WWE 2012, the WrestleMania edition. I never thought a couple of years ago would I be trying so hard to source FIFA games and be absolutely delighted to receive a wrestling game from 2012. It's funny the journey which collecting games can take you on, right? But I'm so happy to see this. I've stared at the picture on eBay so long, and yeah, I think this is German. Yeah, this is a German release. Never got a UK release. I don't think it got a release many places, to be honest, because like I say, you just can't find this one. So yeah, that could well be the rarest of my Essentials thus far, that is. Thus far. There's quite a few I'm worried about, but we'll save those for a future video. Even though this journey hasn't been the easy, cheap, find them all in your local CEX stores journey that I thought it would initially be, I'm absolutely loving it. The community, so many of you have been sharing your experience of collecting these with me. I hope I can complete this set. Whether I am or I am not the world's first to do it, it just will make me very happy to actually be able to do it. It'll probably be my biggest achievement in collecting. I have a full Wii U set, but comparatively speaking, whilst that might be more expensive, it was a lot easier. And that's because there was only a handful of exclusives outside of the UK within the Wii U set, whereas with the PS3 Essentials set, there's a lot. Keep it locked to the Retro Ghetto. I'm going to take you guys on every step of this journey with me. I've got approximately 30 games currently spoken for, which aren't yet in my possession. As and when I get those in hand, I will of course be showing them all to you, and I'll be highlighting the rare, the very rare, and the ultra rare, so you know where you can put your attentions for this full set going forwards. But many thanks to everyone that's taken the time to watch. Let me know in the comments section if you are currently collecting for PS3 Essentials, if you think there has been a decline, or if you've got quite a lot of them within your area. Maybe it's a regional thing, I don't know. Or let me know if you're collecting a completely different full set and what your experience is of it thus far. Thank you for watching, play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you in a bit, take care. Okay, so before we get out of here, I wanted to give you guys an update on my collection. This is constantly evolving, and there's been some quite sizable developments since the recording of that video. I'm currently sitting at 103 PlayStation 3 Essentials titles. However, I have between 30 and 40 spoken for, which will be arriving and in my possession very soon. Now, in terms of how many there are in the full set, that is also constantly evolving. The original list that I found on Google suggested there was 200. I found a few more and we eventually got to the number of 207. That then rose to 210. But just yesterday, it turns out there could be as many as 221 games in the PlayStation 3 Essentials line. Now, myself and Kingsley are working very hard to confirm those numbers, to debunk some of them, because there's all sorts of strange shenanigans going on the internet. Some people have made fan art of games which don't exist, and yeah, it's quite a murky world, but we will get to the bottom of it. As soon as that list is compiled, I will share it so everybody can have a copy. But yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.
Retro Ghetto.
Lock into the retro ghetto.